Some memories never fade. Even at 80, Lydia Biegert can remember the Texas City disaster as if it were yesterday.
It was scary. It was scary. Yeah.
In 1947, Biegert was a 20-year-old nursing student at UTMB Galveston. A ship called the Grandcamp, carrying 2,300 tons of fertilizer, exploded at the dock at Texas City. It set off a series of fires and more explosions. In the end, roughly 600 people died. Thousands more were injured. Biegert found herself pressed into service alongside a med student, treating young victims of the blast.
It was just a constant flow of small children and conscious. I mean, they weren't mortally wounded.
Even though the memory is fresh now, it wasn't always. She says she repressed it for years. So when she took to the podium at this morning's service for the victims, it was only the second time she'd spoken about it since it happened. Next year marks the 60th anniversary of the disaster, and time is taking its toll on the survivors. Each year, fewer and fewer of them make it to this ceremony. Fewer and fewer people here remember the tragedy firsthand, and not as a lesson from a history book. Biegert will never forget the fear she felt that day.
I didn't know anything about what had happened, but I think the greater fear that I had was, am I going to be able to do this?
She was able to do it, and to this day, she's impressed by what the people in Texas City were able to do too, to cope with the disaster and eventually rebuild.
Now that, I think, is something that is really, that took guts.
In Texas City, John Donnelly, Fox 26 News.